Mind management, not time management. Deep 15-lesson summary. 1. The illusion of time control. For years, people have been sold the idea that the secret to success lies in controlling their time, cutting hours into neat boxes, forcing efficiency through rigid schedules, and racing against the clock. But Kadavy challenges that myth head-on. You can schedule your day down to the minute and still feel like nothing meaningful gets done. Why? Because time isn't the problem. Your mind is. Productivity isn't about managing minutes. It's about managing the mental energy that fuels those minutes. You could have an entire day free, but if your mind is scattered, distracted, and uninspired, that time is worthless. The truth is, your results aren't a reflection of how much time you have, but how you use your mind within that time. 2. Understanding the creative cycle. Creativity moves in waves, cycles of energy, rest, and inspiration. Kadavy explains that your brain isn't a machine built for linear output. It's an ecosystem that thrives in rhythms. There are moments when your ideas flow effortlessly, and others when everything feels dry. The mistake people make is trying to force productivity during low-energy phases. Instead, Kadavy urges you to work with your cycles, not against them. When your energy and focus peak, create boldly and deeply. When they dip, rest without guilt, because that downtime is part of the process. True productivity comes when you honor your natural mental seasons, not when you ignore them. 3. Protecting your mental energy. Your mind is like a rechargeable battery, and every decision, notification, or distraction drains it. Kadavy calls this your mental energy budget, and it's often wasted before you even start real work. You don't run out of time each day. You run out of clarity. He urges that instead of asking, "Do I have time for this?" you should ask, "Do I have mental energy for this?" Because the second question determines the quality of your output. High-performance work doesn't come from working long hours, but from working with a clear, focused, fully charged mind. Guarding your mental energy is the real game. 4. The 3 states of mind: muse, monk, and manager. Kadavy identifies 3 mental states we all shift between: the muse, the monk, and the manager. The muse is your creative spark, the dreamer, the artist, the inventor. The monk is your deep thinker, disciplined, focused, and silent. The manager is your executor, organizing, scheduling, and executing plans. Most people fail because they try to live in all 3 at once. You can't manage and create simultaneously. You can't dream and analyze in the same breath. Kadavy teaches you to separate these modes. Give each one its dedicated space and time. When you protect your muse from your manager, you finally give creativity the air it needs to breathe. 5. Flow over force. There's a state where time disappears, and your mind becomes one with what you're doing. That's flow. It's where creativity and clarity merge, where work feels like play, and every action feels effortless. Kadavy argues that instead of trying to control time, we should aim to design our lives around achieving this state more often. You can't schedule flow. You can only create the conditions for it: quiet, freedom, and curiosity. The more you chase flow, the less you need to force productivity. True effectiveness isn't about working harder. It's about working from flow. 6. Escaping the urgency trap. In the modern world, people equate busyness with importance. Kadavy calls this the urgency trap, where you mistake motion for progress. You're always responding, reacting, and rushing, but rarely creating something that actually matters. This mindset kills creativity and breeds burnout. Kadavy says the real power comes from stillness, from learning to slow down, long enough to think deeply, question assumptions, and act deliberately. When you stop being a slave to urgency and start choosing what truly deserves your attention, your work transforms from reactive to intentional. 7. Rituals that unlock flow. Structure isn't the enemy, it's the gateway. Kadavy explains that rituals and patterns when built around creativity, help your brain recognize when it's time to focus. Morning writing sessions, pre-work meditation, or even a certain playlist can trigger the mind into high-performance mode. Think of these rituals as mental keys, ways to open the door to your creative state faster. You don't have to force inspiration. You just need to create the environment where it naturally appears. Routine, when done right, isn't about control. It's about liberation. 8. Working with your seasons. Your mind moves through internal seasons, creative summers of inspiration, reflective autumns of thought, and quiet winters of rest. Society makes you feel guilty for slowing down, but Kadavy argues that these natural ebbs and flows are essential for longevity. You can't produce endlessly without renewal. When you learn to listen to your body and your mind, when to push and when to pause, you stop fighting your nature. You begin to create sustainably, not desperately. The most successful creators aren't those who work nonstop. They're the ones who master the rhythm of effort and recovery. 9. Space, silence, and solitude. Kadavy emphasizes that creativity doesn't happen in chaos. Your best ideas come in silence, when your brain is free to wander. In solitude, your subconscious connects patterns your conscious mind misses. That's why ideas strike in the shower, during walks, or when you're staring into space. Silence isn't wasted time. It's mental incubation. If you fill every quiet moment with noise, your brain never gets the chance to produce something original. Great minds aren't the ones that work the longest. They're the ones that give themselves room to think. 10. Attention. The ultimate currency. In today's world, attention is constantly under attack. Notifications, ads, and social media are engineered to fragment your mind. Kadavy insists that attention is your most precious resource. Even more than time or money, every time you give away a piece of it, you weaken your creative power. He challenges you to design your life to protect your attention like a fortress. Turn off what doesn't serve you. Create boundaries. Because once your attention is gone, your creativity follows it out the door. 11. Less but deeper. Modern society glorifies multitasking, but Kadavy reminds us that doing more things doesn't mean you're achieving more. The mind thrives when it goes deep, not wide. When you focus on fewer projects with greater intensity, you tap into richer insights and higher creativity. Doing less isn't laziness, it's precision. Your energy is finite, so don't scatter it on surface-level tasks. Pour it into the things that will matter 5 years from now, not the ones that just look productive today. 12. The slow burn principle. Great work often feels unproductive in the short term. It simmers quietly before it explodes. Kadavy calls this the slow burn, the invisible process where ideas mature beneath the surface. Impatient people abandon their projects before they bloom, but those who understand this principle trust the process. Progress isn't always visible. Sometimes it's internal, refining your thinking, deepening your understanding, and aligning your purpose. Patience is a creative superpower. 13. Designing for inspiration. You can't force inspiration, but you can build a life that invites it. Kadavy explains that small design choices, like keeping your phone away from your workspace, spending time in nature, or exposing yourself to art, prime the brain for new connections. Inspiration is the result of curiosity meeting silence. When you feed your mind with beauty and protect it from noise, ideas flow effortlessly. A well-designed life naturally produces creativity. 14. Letting go of perfection. The greatest enemy of creativity isn't failure, it's perfection. Kadavy reminds us that perfection is procrastination in disguise. You wait for the perfect time, the perfect plan, or the perfect mindset, and in the process, you kill momentum. The truth is, clarity comes from doing, not waiting. Manage your mind to push past resistance, take imperfect action, and refine as you go. Done is better than perfect because done evolves. Perfection never starts. 15. Living by mindful design. In the end, Kadavy's philosophy is simple but profound. Your life is a design project. You can let the world design it for you, full of noise, stress, and empty busyness. Or you can consciously design it around peace, focus, and creativity. Time will pass either way. The question is, will your mind be in control of it, or will it control you? Mind management is the art of reclaiming ownership of your thoughts, your energy, and your creative flow. And once you master that, time itself becomes your ally, not your enemy.